I recently gave my Patreon structure some thoughts and I added several new perks and one new tier. So let's start off with the first tier, Gefreiter tier, which starts at $1. You will get Patreon access, which means lately I post all my videos on Patreon. So you can comment there and your comments will be read, definitely. And very likely you will get a response. For those who follow me longer on, I almost always commented quite heavily on YouTube, but lately this isn't possible, and also to a certain degree the quality of the comments is limited there, so I spend more time on Patreon now. Additionally, you will get information on behind the scenes, on upcoming videos, on upcoming events, and you also have basically the MHV privilege. So if there's a stream or something and you mentioned me beforehand that you are watching on Twitch or you like the streams and you send me your name, how you're on call on Twitch or something, it's more likely that you will get into a match or something, because quite often we let people in. So since you're a paying member, you of course have a certain amount of priority. Then the next is the Feldwebel tier, or $3. This one has a new perk added. Note that all the existing perks from last year are still valid. They're still there. These are just new tiers now. And I will do a monthly Q&A. So you can submit your questions. I will post a post there and you add your questions there. And these are personal and channel questions. So personal stuff you want to know about me, or where some stuff for the channel is going, or some plans, everything around that. So you can ask me everything, basically questions that don't require research. This is very important. Then the next is the Leutnant tier, which starts at $7, and you will get voting rights. There will be a monthly poll, maybe more in the future, but right now once a month. And you can vote on a category and or era. I will probably, for instance, I will say, you want to see more, next month you want to see a video on World War I, World War II, Cold War, Napoleonic warfare, other stuff. So I will put up probably 5 to 6 elements, and then you can vote on it. Or it could be, do you want a video on naval warfare? Do you want something on tanks? On air warfare, on submarine warfare, or something along those lines. And you will also can, for instance, make some suggestions in the sense for different categories. For instance, stuff that I didn't have considered yet. And then I will take a look at it. And we'll see how it develops. So in the future, you probably vote on different stuff, but for now I will make categories. I don't do pre-selected topics yet, because from my experience, a lot of times I had to postpone videos or cancel them completely because the source situation was not up to my standard. So this is the main reason why this is right now rather tightly focused. Then the next tier is the Hauptmann tier, which is at $15, and you will get Discord server access. And on this Discord server you can chat with like-minded people, because, well, it's a rather selected group. And additionally, on this server there will be Bismarck, which is our military aviation expert, and Justin, who has very good knowledge on naval history. So these are of course friends, so there's no guarantee they will interact, but from those people who watched the Navy chats and had some questions there, I think basically every reasonable question was answered by Justin, either in an upcoming Navy chat or in the comment section. And I think Bismarck is basically the same. So it might take a while, but basically you have further access there. And then is the new tier, which is the Oberst tier, or Colonel. And here we have, for the monthly Q&A, you can submit a content question, but right now focused only on World War II. This is a specific reason. Only for World War II I have a sufficient amount of books around that I can guarantee that, or I can't guarantee, but that I will be able to cover most questions. Of course, the questions should be rather focused and short so that I can cover them in 2 to 5 minutes answers. And not something like a very detailed question or something like in that battle, that battalion, what happened there. So not something, but more general understanding questions. And also be aware that I have certain content guidelines, so no war crimes, no atrocities, and no political units. Because World War II basically has enough minefields and I have to work on actions quite often. Although, to a certain degree, it is less tight than on my big videos because these answers can be done rather shortly, and you know my visualization videos take 10 to 20 hours to make, or sometimes more. So in these videos I can't take any chances. So this also leads me to the main question, why Patreon? Well, there are several reasons. One, good sources cost money. Books from Cambridge University Press, Naval Institute Press, or German equivalents usually cost, I mean, if they're really cheap, they're 20 bucks, but usually they're 40, 50 bucks around. So, and I always try to get new books like The Red Army from Alexander Hill, which is from 2017. Then museum trips, audio equipment, video equipment, SO stuff, and also software tools, they cost money. And additionally, if something is covered, I can take more time to invest and try stuff out. For instance, you saw my hip firing video probably, my grid purge video, and the underwater explosion video. I greatly improved, I improved quite on the visual front, and I want to continue this, but basically for every change you see there, I have to try 3 or 4 approaches until it gets right. There are probably 50% of stuff you will never see because I've said, okay, the quality wasn't good enough, or I didn't have enough time to finish this up. For instance, for the Panzer's Important video, I did coding, I think 5 to 10 hours coding on something which I never used in the video, but probably will be something that I can use in the future. And this was only possible thanks to my generous Patreons, because else I would have been way more weary about putting out a video as fast as possible and not to improve too much on the quality front. And finally, and probably most important one, is the strategic goal. I want to get independent of YouTube advertiser money. This is, you notice that channels get demonetized. My channel was demonetized basically from the very get-go, and I had to let review every video. The problem is, since the nuking the bitches video, several videos have been permanently demonetized. So they were reviewed and they were said, this video is not suitable. And as a result of this, I started to cut some content. And there are 3 examples on the Operation Olympic Invasion of Japan video. I cut out that the Japanese also prepared the civilian population to engage in combat. Then on my flak towers video, I cut out the joke, which was basically, well, flak towers, aren't they just beautiful? You see, that is what I like on German wartime architecture. It's modest, unintrusive, just like thermonuclear warheads and Lisa Ann. And on one of my latest video, the bomb vessel video, it was noted that some authors noted that it was built for attacking fortifications, but others also noted they were used for attacking towns. And since towns imply civilian targets, I mentioned fortifications and land targets, because this is more on the safe side. And to be honest, I don't like to do this, because usually I want to get as specific as possible. But if you put 10 or 20 hours into something like the bomb vessel video, I think was probably 10 hours around, and then having a civilian target mentioned, just one line, and you risk getting basically no money from it, well, it's a little bit problematic. And at a certain point, I don't have to care as much. There's also the reason why I introduced the personal videos, because they are a little bit faster to make, and so I can cover more controversial stuff. Now, also a big thank you to every Patreon and every former Patreon. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.